Let's see one more data point come in. So we're actually, yesterday we had a sell MiM, but the MiM waned the entire afternoon, right? So it got weaker. This one is actually getting stronger as we go. So that sell side continues to grow, so we'll see how that. So the MiM is real time, yes, the MiM is real time, and the snapshots are based on the section you choose. It's just the close of that 5 minutes. So it's just the last minute of that 5 minutes. Right, so if you go to the snapshot tab and you click on the upper thing, you do 5 minutes, you'll see that at 3 o'clock we were at minus 475 million to sell. Then we built up to minus 575, minus 584, and now we're 652. The dollar side got stronger, starting off at 61, 68, minus 70, minus 74, and the symbol side's getting stronger here too. That is real time. Yeah, it's real time. Remember, the data is being accumulated by hand, though. So, I don't know what you mean by real time, but it's the latest piece of data that we have. And because it's hand collected, it's a little bit noisy, right? Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes you'll see $1 trillion to sell. That's a hint that there's a manual encoding mistake that usually gets cleaned up pretty quickly. But that data comes in, yeah. So that data comes in about every. I go and collect the data about every 15 seconds, but when it's been updated, it's sometimes in between. And we can look at the imbalance chart. We can see that that's on that tab. We can see that the sell side's growing. You can click down on the bottom where the legend is. You can click on the cells. You can turn those off if you wanted to turn those off and just look at the total, or you can look at just what the buy side's looking like here. And then you can see what the sell side's doing. This you can see if you click just the sell. Just turn just the sell on. You can see that is just continuing to step down here now at the sitting at the 1 billion level. Percent chart, it's getting more bearish as we move along. Let's see what we're selling. We're selling FedEx, PNC, CVS, Prudential, IBM, all on the sell side. Verizon, STC, AA, SLB, and Dove are all on the buy side. If you break it down into sectors, every sector has a sell. So it's nothing really strong today sticking. How did our AD lines look? Our AD lines are they were fairly strong this morning, but sitting around. Dow's the strongest, 2.3 to 1, and NYSE about 1.3 to 1. Yeah, so help yourself to download data. It's in CSV format, so you can go back. I think April 2015. I think is the first date. Just put that in, and then it will choke if you do too much data at once. Yeah, and it's every minute. So you can see every minute of every day. Every minute from the close, from 2 to 4. It's not all day long. I'd like to try to figure out how to do Nadix trades. I thought that the Brian's talk today about using Nadix and kind of using his news model, right? Because it's like every day you got a piece of news, right? Right now, we think the news is going to have a negative reaction on the market. The market's going to go down. So how best to write a spread to do that? It'd be fun to figure out. I want to see what the MiM guys are doing. Oh boy, I want to go to short this. We'll call it my 330 entry. I was on the edge at the 320 entry, which was also just right around here, 08. So, but this MiM continues to get bigger. It's now minus 893. It's 78% dollar, 70% symbol. All those numbers are bigger, and let's just see what happens going into the last 15 minutes here. Any questions from the room? Oh, these numbers on the MiM, 1, 2, 3, 4 now on the sell side. It's as easy as it's 1.2 billion sell. So, Steve, did you get my email this morning? Yeah, obviously 1.25 is better than 1 to the downside, but it varies. It's a combination. It's all three things I need, right? So those little hands on the gauge are both pointing to the red. So as long as those are pointing in either a red or a green area for me, then I'm happy to go on that side of the trade. If the top number is big enough, and right now we're playing with a billion here, so So if it was $1 billion to sell and the dollar and the pound sign were 50%, those needles were straight up and down. I don't I don't take that trade. We look, and we call it bamboozled. If we've been bamboozled with the MiM, bamboozled, and it happens. It happens, and you can't. I don't know that I can tell a pattern. Sometimes you can tell that they're holding back the buy side. They might be holding back the buy side today. We'll see. But this sell side continues to grow. So let's see how we end up on the day. Right now, Nasdaq is green. It looks like, and the S&P is green. So low of the day on the S&P was 27 even, 0.5. So we're just 5 points off of the low of the day. $220 symbols with sells, 92 with buys. I feel like this market could do really good with one more whoosh and then get the buyers back in. Take care of some housekeeping here. Make sure you use your time as best you can here. So email me. If you feel frustrated that you ask questions and they didn't get answered, that you're trying to use me to fetch that stuff. That's what I'm here for. Give me a list of things that you want. I got a big tick up. Well, we don't want that. Ticks have been a little subdued all day. We looked at the tick chart the other day, and those individual open, high, low, close bars are the actual ticks, and the height of those, the range of those, on a minute-by-minute basis, kind of telling on the kind of day it is, whether there's a day with fight in it or not. The range was pretty small this morning. Now we're just kind of building up the range on those a little bit here. MiM has not ticked up. Someone just hit me up saying they got the email. I just sent it out again to that person. So look in your inbox. What are we doing here on the MiM? Come on, baby. Let's wind this up. Let's get $1 billion to sell. If you're going to trade this last hour of the day, especially the last half hour, you best understand that material I sent you out. If you're going to be trading equities, options on equities or indexes. The mechanics of the close, inbound, inflows, outflows, rebalancing, because it's a mechanical part of the day. It doesn't necessarily, it's not like news. We trade the news. It's not like technicals, because the market's going to have to close balance, so they're going to bring it into where it has to be in order to do that, regardless. There we go. 1.3 billion to the sell side right now. 84% dollars, 75% symbols. Yeah, that little box up there. Yeah. Sometimes it's on a different feed that's slower. Kind of one of those ticks to go pushing down. So we are now 6 minutes from the reveal. And if these guys are, they got computers so they can all put it in at the last minute, but sometimes you'll start seeing a big move here in the last 5 minutes if they're taking their orders, just getting their orders out. Anybody got any questions? Futures, MrTopStep, our products, what you heard today? You need something? You want something? 5 minutes. Have you guys been using LiveSquawk? It's a good service. I don't have it on because I'm talking right now, but what I like is when they announce the feed right around this time, 1.5 billion to sell, because now that information is being disseminated early to other people. I like that. Four minutes. God, it's coming against me again. Come on. It's a high tick. 1.5 billion to sell. Continuing to grow. This thing reaching for the sky. Three minutes. $1.6 billion. $240 symbols to the sell side, 69 to the buy. That is 78% of all the symbols are selling. And it's 1.67. Selling at 1.67. Let's do. So MiM was pretty right on there. So now we're on the digital feed, right? So now we have 400 and these numbers are so hard. 450, 500 and something. Yeah, 550 symbols up. 383 to the sell side, 165 to the buy side. 70% of all the symbols are being sold. total $2 billion to be sold of the sold side, total $413 being bought, right? So the net difference between the buy and the sell side of the imbalance is a negative imbalance of $1.6 billion to the sell side. And now the market is reacting to that. Sometimes you see the sell side moves. I mean, the only theoretical way that can happen, kid, is if somebody is correcting an order and saying, "Oh, did I sell 10,000? I meant 1,000," or "Did I say 1,000? I meant 10,000." Low tick of the day here on this selling getting out. NQ is now red. ES is now red. I'm going to crawl out here because it's too distracting talking and trading. Let's see. I mean, this could actually sell all the way past into the close. Let's see what the D quotes do here. Any questions on the MiM and what we just went through and what we saw? And those are the good kinds of MiMs. Those are the MiMs that aren't too strong, and then all of a sudden they start building. Sometimes you get on and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's $2 billion to sell, 90. And it's like, okay, first of all, if that's true, it's broadcast because now everybody knows about it because people are on the floor. They don't have it all added together, all the symbols, but when they see the sheets and everything on the sheets is a sell side, it gets added. They can add that in their heads and say, oh, wow, everybody's selling here. So that gets kind of broadcast pretty early if it's a big buy or a big sell at 2 o'clock. So really, like, little subtle, even a little buy at like 2, and then you kind of watch it kind of wane a little bit and start seeing the sell side, seeing it, we call it the MiM flip. Watch the MiM flip and we just keep building and trending. Yesterday we saw just the opposite. So I usually go in at so we're still going to probe this low here. So I usually go in like at 3, okay, if it's a big number, but the symbol and the dollar percentages have to be lower. In this case, it's a sell side, so lower than 66 or greater than 66 if it's a buy side. That didn't happen, and then at 320, it did happen. I was shied. It was right around. I ended up doing the same price as I did at 330, so I did a 330 entry at around 08. So just, read through that email. I mean, and that's the way I trade. Let me just tell you, there's almost nobody in the MiM room that trades the way I trade. And let me just tell you, there are better traders in the MiM room than me. Look at this answer back. There are some people who trade just that reveal time. Look at the MiM's getting more negative. First of all, I would do that if you really wanted me to do that. I don't think you want me to do that, kid. Maybe like, if something, it doesn't fire every day, right? Some days you come in and it's like, 200 million, and you just look at it and you say, okay. And if you're trading, I don't know how you trade, but if you've been trading other stuff, or if you're scalping, there's times that tells you that the close isn't going to be part of the day. It's just going to close, and we're not going to get a big move when you get something starts adding up like this. And it seemed to be like a little bit of a surprise because we kind of had a strong day today. And then we find that there actually be more selling, and particularly yesterday, because we didn't have it was a pretty neutral imbalanced market on close yesterday, right around zero. And so it's kind of surprising to me that they want to be selling today, but you don't know, because, and that's the thing about it too, is you can't always predict, because it could just be that a bunch of funds need to go to cash. Pension funds need to go to cash because they need to write checks, retirement checks, and so today's the day that they're going to get rid of some stocks and go into cash. And maybe like 3 of those funds add up together or something. You just don't know. There are times that you do know when there's rebalancing, but we always have the capability to. I always have the capability to go on the mic, and I will always go on the mic if you ask me to come on the mic. Now at 355, we'll see like another little move here. So let's just see if they don't buy this back. So we have 1.7 billion to sell right now on the MiM. Let's just check to see if they don't. Another way that the MiM could get more negative is if the value of the stocks change, because we're doing constant look at the last stock price. A little tired. I was up last night watching the U.S. women beat our northern friends. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And then I got to watch the men's beat our northern friends in curling this morning. Every 4 years, I totally get into that curling. Every 4 years. And I look up to find out where the closest curling place is, and I never do anything except wait for the next 4 years. So, Steve, you're in Alaska. Is that what you just said? I think we've talked before, right? Are you in Anchorage? Oh, Reno. I was born in Ketchikan. So. My father was in the Coast Guard and stationed there. I left when I was 2. Never been back. Someday. Oh, so they came in and they bought a little bit, but no, not that aggressive. I was still 1.1 billion to sell. I get reminiscing there and forgot to watch what the D quotes are doing. Okay, so that's it, right? So now the D quotes. Now these guys on the floor have the ability to do whatever they want, which I don't know how that makes sense, but I guess it does. into the close, and they can do that, I think, to 10 seconds before the close. They can continue putting in orders and doing stuff. And then they're shut out. It's all in the papers I sent you. And then they're shut out, and then the computers start doing the matching, right? So what they're going to do is they're going to match all the market on close orders, right? Those are going to be all paired off quickly. And remember, they're going to find a price, right? So they have to find who do I know here? Bank of America, 59 million to sell. I have no idea how many shares that is, but let's say it's 100,000 shares of stock, right? So they have to find 100,000 shares to make up that difference, right? So they're going to start climbing, since it's a sell side and looking for buys. They're going to have to start climbing down the bid ladder, right? So there's a bunch of limit on close orders. Those are LOC orders that people have put in. Trying to take advantage of maybe some price fluctuation on the close. Then maybe they'll sell it in the morning or whatever, or they've got options hedged or whatever. So they've got the limit on close orders in, which is basically saying, hey, if you need my liquidity, it's there, but you're going to pay a price for it. I'm sitting down here on the limit on close, and you can participate in that too by putting a limit on close order in if you want to get a stock. So it's a good way to buy a stock if you want to get in and you see a big selling MiM, or you see a big thing on Bank of America. Got hitched in Rio. Oh, you guys are too funny. I am done for the day. I got to go out and shovel. I can't believe it. Okay, make sure you go through the right door. The hitched or the divorce door. Hitched or unhitched. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. You got my name, my email up there. Oh, guys, it's gone off the screen already. Got my name, you got my number. I do have a business call coming in in 2 minutes, so wait half an hour if you need to talk to me tonight. Otherwise, it's ciao, and back to you, Tina, and thank you guys for being here.